Hello, church family. Wanted to give you a quick update on some things that are coming up with regards to our worship services and how they're changing in the coming weeks. We've been meeting regularly, looking at the state guidelines as they continue to change and assessing what that means for us worship service wise. And there are a couple changes that have taken place that will affect us moving forward. So, one, the state has changed the guidelines for the maximum number of participants in a worship service. That changed a few weeks back, actually, and they upped that number to 200 in our current phase. It'll go up to 400 members in that next phase, phase three, provided that we can keep some distancing measures in place. And so for us, that means in our current facility, we think we can probably accommodate somewhere around 120 to 135, 140, and still stay within those guidelines, which is a significantly larger number than what we're doing right now in the three service, 50-person format. Our children's ministry leaders have been meeting together and talking about the possibility of children's activities, and that just seems a little out of reach for us at this current point in time. So looking in the next couple weeks, a couple things that are going to change. One, we will go to two services instead of the three services. Right now we're running services at 8:30, 9:30, and 10:30, and then running the longer service from 10:30 that we live stream. Starting this coming weekend, Sunday, July 12th, we will go to two services because we can accommodate a larger number, but we will stay in that shorter format, mostly again to accommodate families with children that are maybe not at a place where sitting through an entire service without any childcare or children's church ministries or anything available is a little difficult. So we will be going to two services, starting again at 9:30 and 10:30. So the same format in that first service, followed by a longer normal length second service that we will also live stream. Because the numbers are going up, we're going to go ahead and push the pause button on registration. We have enough capacity now to accommodate folks that registering for a service ahead of time we don't think is going to be necessary. If we get a huge surge of people in the next few weeks, and it looks like we do need to do that, then we can make those changes. But right now, it seems like registration is not going to be a necessary thing. So you'll be able to pick a service, show up at that service. We will continue to, again, implement some distancing measures to seating people by households or extended households, keeping some distance from one another. The other thing that's changed is starting today, actually, the state of Washington has issued the no mask, no service order, and essentially asking businesses to refuse service, refuse entry to anybody who is not wearing a facial covering. And we've been talking about the facial covering issue quite a bit through the last month. I know that there are a lot of different views, opinions, comfort levels for a lot of different reasons surrounding that issue. But one of the things that I think we feel really strongly about is the state asking us to turn people away from a worship setting over that is something we really feel is not something that we're comfortable doing. So starting this weekend, we just want to convey to people that facial coverings, we want to continue to recommend them. That's what the state is asking us to do, and we've spent lots of time talking about why we think that that's right of the state to take those measures, whether or not we agree with them. But it is not our plan as a church to enforce that requirement. So if that's the thing that's keeping you away from worship services right now, if you're not comfortable with that, not able to do that, whatever reason, I just want you to hear me say, as a pastor, as one of the elders at New Bible Church, that is not something we're going to turn you away for. We'd much rather that you be here worshiping with us than not worshiping because of that requirement that the state has put in place. So we feel that we can continue to safely do things, even for individuals or families that are not comfortable wearing facial coverings. We will continue to implement those distancing guidelines that the state of Washington and the CDC is recommending. We've had conversations with the Washington State Department of Health, as well as just looking through the guidelines. And they're telling us that I can stand on a stage and not wear a facial covering as long as there's 6 feet of distance, and that is safe. Of course, you can go to a restaurant and sit at 6 feet of distance. And during that time that you're eating, they're saying that that is safe. So we feel at this point that if we can continue to observe those guidelines, providing those distance measures, keeping the other sanitation measures that we put in place as far as not having people dwell in the building for an extended period of time so that we can clean and flip the facility. If we can do those things, we can continue to keep things sanitary But we just, again, if wearing a facial covering is that thing that's keeping you from being here, for whatever reason it is, we just want you to know that we'd rather you come, and that is certainly not something that we would turn you away for. So look forward to seeing you this coming weekend. Again, 2 services at 9:30 to 10:30. That first service will be short, and then the 10:30 to about noon service that we will also live stream. Hope to either see you there in person or see you join us online. Thanks so much.